Hey guys, welcome to Oddcast, a For Nerds by Nerd show. I'm Paige.
I'm CN.
And I'm Joe.
And I don't know why I hesitate saying my name.
Yeah, I was like, that's...
It's like,
Paige.
Are you unsure what your name is?
Paige, Judo's being kind of sus.
I'm definitely not sus.
I'm pretty sure that you're not really Judo. Alright guys, so before we get started into today's main event, now would be the opportunity that we're providing you, meaning the 10 seconds that a lot of people don't provide you at the end of the video, which is super annoying, to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, and notification button, including the little bell, so that you get to choose if you want to hear from us all the time, some of the times, none of the times. I would recommend that you go off all the times, because who knows what we're going to talk about and when.
True story.
Today we wanted to talk about something that we have all experienced, and by we, I don't mean just us. I mean, all of us, as gamers in general, have experienced the ongoing struggle of putting 300 hours in a Monster Hunter world and still not having a fucking platinum trophy. And this has brought us to today's debate. Games as a service versus linear story games. Obviously, both are important.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about important. That seems
No,
like
they're important.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
both serve a purpose.
It's true. Now, I am willing to put in 300 hours, obviously, into a game if the payoff is good, meaning like I'm entertained. I am not one of those people, though, that could do like the super games as a service, which is MMORPGs.
Yeah.
Hard
It
pass.
depends. It depends.
So let's start off. Let me go back a step here. So when we say games as a service, we mean games that present you with potentially with a story path, but the end game area of that game just goes on and on and on, with the company providing more content, new content.
We're looking at you, Fallout 76.
Occasionally paid content. Occasionally not. Fallout 76 is a good example of tacking on extra stuff to the back end for free, kinda. There's
there are
little
more
bit of
options than that.
Yeah.
They're usually FPSs, so like you got Call of Duty, Division. There's lots of those that are games. Destiny, Halo, I believe Gears also, but I haven't played Gears, so now don't quote me on that, because now I know Gears has a serious story, but so does Halo. But it's any game that you can continuously play afterwards. Usually it's a multiplayer or online mode, but it has a very short story path.
So I don't think that it always has a short story path. For example,
Usually.
And then of course the other one, linear story path, means that there's a start, there's a finish, you walk your way to get there. Doesn't mean that it's going to be a linear thing. There can be open world story path games, looking at you, Ghost of Tsushima, which are amazing. There's so many open world games that they take up a large chunk of time to complete, and it's fine. I enjoy open world games.
Yeah.
They are, however, at a weird crossroad, is what I would say, which is they could potentially be games as a service, and some open world games do take parts of games as a service. For example, cosmetic loot boxes. I'm looking at you, Ubisoft. You have now added them into all of the Assassin's Creed games. It could just be an open world game, but it's not. You can buy Ubisoft credits, and then you can download Ubisoft content. And
Well, that aspect of it I actually like, because
I like it.
That's because you're an
Ubisoft
Assassin's
credits.
Creed fanboy.
Oh, no,
That's true.
But here's
That's
the
true.
thing. I like it when I know what I'm getting when I pay for it. So it's not the loot box system. Definitely not down with that. If you're going to give me content, just tell me what the fuck the content is, and then I'll decide whether I want to buy it or not.
Yeah, I don't want the
agree with
surprise content that you get,
Yeah,
like
like-
one of those random. Oh, you have a
So,
$30 pack of like random stuff, and you don't know what's in it.
It's
until you open
gambling.
it.
yeah.
It's basically gambling. That's straight up what it is, and I don't like to gamble. It's just not a thing that I enjoy. So
And I don't
no,
mind.
thank you.
I don't mind loot boxes when you can't buy them. Does that make sense?
No.
So when Fortnite first started, way back when,
I remember that.
when it was a multiplayer co-op experience where it's you versus hordes of zombies before it started.
And there was like a linear story progression,
Yes,
and you
we
had a
have that.
fort.
My understanding is that it got removed from the game, which means
Yes.
I'm never going to platinum it.
Yeah, I'm
but
never
it could
gonna
also
play it.
still be there.
Well,
But
because the co-op linear thing was so fun. I really enjoyed it, and I had every intention of going back to it. But yeah, if they removed it, this battle royale shit, hard pass. No offense to anybody who likes it. It's just not my kind of game.
So you have that, but then you have games as a service, which are games where you can dump hours in, and sometimes you accomplish stuff. Fallout 76 is a good one. I've got the platinum. You don't. Obviously, we're still working on it. But it's you put in the time and you do. The problem that you face with them is that to you they become very repetitive,
And I get super bored.
and then you're just out. You're
then I'm
like,
out.
I could do it, but nah.
Like-
And that's
yeah.
the rub. That's the rub with games as a service, because I'm the same way. Unless the content is super engaging and I have just a shit ton of fun playing it, once I get to a certain point in the story, I stop, because games for me, I play for the story. The story is what entices me to play a game like fucking Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, there's a lot
The
that I
Uncharted
play.
series.
Yeah, there's a lot that I play specifically for the story part. Like, that's why I got into games in the first place. So, the games as a service, I only enjoy it when I can play it. Like, I have friends to play it with, like The Division. We played the shit out of that all together. That was so much fun to play together, especially in the beginning of quarantine. I'll always remember that. That was hilarious. But unless it's something that I know my friends are going to do and I can hang out with my friends, I don't really care.
Now, I will have to say, though, that, and I would use Fallout 76 as an example. Actually, Fallout 76 is a really good
We
example
played
of
that
this whole
together.
story. But Fallout 76, so, yes, it gets to the point to where it gets super repetitive, and I'm like, all right, I don't want to have to continue doing this just to get the items I need for the trophy. Now, but then they loop you in by adding more content, in this case, free content, which is the whole new missions. They've added
So they
NPCs.
Yeah, so
which
we haven't played with it.
NPCs,
Yeah, so
yeah.
Wastelanders.
Yeah.
But before the Wastelanders DLC, they added more content in special events, and they had a roadmap.
I
and
didn't
it's
care about those.
limited time things that could get you involved. Now you might not have cared about those, but you and I definitely hunted the crap out of the Kolve Toroth.
That's
In Monster Hunter World, it's a limited time event.
Yeah.
Which
That's
draws
because the
you
Kobe
in.
Taurus, you get there's a bonus for doing it. You
Yeah, but
get
in Fallout
badass
76, there's a
armor.
bonus. You get a badass weapon, or you get armor pieces that are limited.
No, most of the stuff that I've seen. Now
This stuff-
you've played it
it's
maybe
not
a little
stuff
bit more.
that you wanted. I still want the fucking
Like-
meat tenderizer with pepper. I want it.
There's like masks that I could have cared less. Like, you have to do this little mission. I could have cared less about getting those masks, but I do want to play Wastelanders. So I mean, I'm going to have to get back into it and play it. And much like Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World, we just picked up again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we were like, you know what? No. We're not letting this game beat us. We're going for that
We're
platinum.
I tried to tell
4
y'all.
trophies away.
It's
I
because
tried to tell y'all.
it's because 4 of the trophies are RNG based, and it's just not fun.
Yeah, it's just the constant grind.
Yeah, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna plow
We're gonna
through,
have
and we're
to
gonna
plow
get to
through
the
it.
other end. We got a new friend who's involved. She's playing it now, so we're playing with her.
Yeah.
Although she has to get to a certain hunter rank before she can actually involve herself in the end game content, which is the add-ons that Games as a Service present. So Games as a Service are fun if you have friends to play them with, but as a solo player out there in the world, you definitely find yourself leaning more towards solo gaming experiences.
Yeah.
So
It depends on the person. Different people, like, I know some people who hate the story part, who they only get through the story part so they can get to the games as a service part.
I know plenty of people that I think earlier with Call of Duty, you couldn't play multiplayer unless you've gotten through story mode. And people just played story mode just so they can play.
So the
That's what I'm saying.
The question becomes this. In the gaming niche, like where we are now, do you think that games as a service is the way forward? That's what EA puts forth. EA believes that you don't make a game now that has just the linear story path, that it needs to continue on indefinitely into the forevers, because they're trying to create things like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV or any of those online experiences where you can keep the players engaged by adding more content,
And I hate
more
that.
and more onto the back end so that you can play the same game for a decade. I don't know if I necessarily want to play the same
no.
game for a decade.
All they're trying to do, it's all about money. Like EA is all about the bottom line.
I would disagree with that. And the only reason why, and I'll use a really good example.
And he's not talking about EA being all about the money on the bottom.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you.
Yeah, no,
I don't. I think it's all about the bottom line, like for EA. But that's not why everybody makes games. That's maybe why EA makes games. But all the indie people and there's some other developers who make a solid story. Like the market's big enough to have everybody have their niche of what they like. And some people like games as a service. Some people like linear. Some people like both. I like both.
Yeah, but what I was actually referring to was the fact that I don't think it has to do with the bottom line. I don't think it has to do with making more money, because in my opinion, they probably make less money.
For EA it is.
No, but I think they make less money.
No, so that...
No.
So I'll give you an example. I will give you an example.
Okay,
I'll give you a prime example. The automotive industry. In the automotive industry, they build cars nowadays to pretty much die out. They're like, all right, you'll last about 60,000 miles, and after that, you have to buy a brand new car. They're not going to build the car to last 20 years like they do with
That's
Honda.
the automotive industry, man.
Yeah,
That's the automotive industry. This is the video game industry.
Yeah, but the business market of what these gaming companies are doing is they're producing one game, and then they're just producing lots of additional content for it. Now, not everybody's approaching it with the same caution that Capcom has.
Oh, yeah.
Capcom's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter World, for the most part, all of its add-on content is free, and then when they decided to charge, it's like a whole other game.
It's a whole other game.
And you can buy pieces through their online store where you're paying them, but you know exactly what you're buying when you pay for it. So it's not a randomized loot box. Most games as a service, though, have this intrinsic, almost like just they're already preloaded to where they are susceptible to loot boxes and crates, and you could mine people that way. And a good way, like good examples of that are FIFA could put out a games as a service game and people would buy it, but they don't. They release a new game every year with new additional content.
Same thing
where you
with
have
Madden.
to buy it. Yeah, like guys, if ever there was a format where you could just do a fucking game as a service, do it with sports games.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Yeah.
make an engine. You don't have to repackage it. Just make it, oh, hey, the new season's coming out. Buy it for $20. You're guaranteed to make your money back because you're only doing hardware for one time. And then the only time that you have to release a new disc or a new format or get a whole new team involved to make anything,
It's new technology.
yeah, is if you're upgrading the graphics to something that's stupendous. You don't have to constantly outdo yourself. Just fucking add more people to
agree.
different rosters. It's easy. Charge $2. Oh, this player, by the way, he got transferred to this team. You want to keep him in your team? It's $1.
Yeah.
Boom, you just made $1 for nothing. It's free money. It's out there. Get it, EA. You know you want it. You could take the idea. You could steal it from me. You're doing it right now. I brought you up. You heard the idea, and you're like,
They're
"Damn,
taking
that's a good
notes.
idea. I'm gonna do that one." And then you just add it in there. That's fine.
But I personally think that it's good to have a little bit of both.
So I think the hybrid approach
Well,
is.
there's nothing wrong with both.
Right.
Yeah, I think the hybrid approach is really where that's the sweet spot. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some games that definitely belong as just linear.
Just linear.
Like, I don't know what you would add on to God of War. Because
Yeah.
it's too linear.
Okay, let's go a little bit more
Yeah.
Nintendo. Do you think they can do a games as a service for Mario?
No. Because each of his are
I mean-
standalone stories.
A lot of them tie in together, though. Like,
They-
as of
they-
current...
I mean,
They have time.
Mario Party. Mario Party is a games as a service game,
I never played Mario Party.
It's more of a battle royale game.
and Mario Kart
Yeah,
and
well,
Mario Kart. Those
but
are both games as a service games.
But those aren't games as a service games. Because it's not, they're not adding on more content. The real additional content, don't get me wrong, they are adding obviously new characters to Smash Brothers Brawl or Melee or whatever their new one is, Ultimate. They add new characters.
Ultimate.
Or
I think it is Ultimate.
yeah, I honestly don't know. Like they
I'm laughing. I was laughing at his options that he went with before.
So in Super Smash
good
Brothers
time.
Supreme, I know that they're adding more content with like new players are entering it. Mortal Kombat's doing the same thing. I don't mind that. To me though, it's not really a game as a
Those aren't games as a service.
yeah, games as a service to me are like you have a character or a team and you move them forward through a story progression style in order to accomplish a task at the end that's built
it's
into
true.
a story.
Nintendo doesn't do that.
Yeah, but so in any battle game where you're fighting other people, I don't consider it a game as a service only because the real additional content is the other player.
Correct. I was just about to say that.
Like StarCraft 2
then how
has been
does
going
that-
strong for like 10 years. It's a decade old, and there are still people winning $800,000 in 2 years playing StarCraft 2 in Korea. I will never get to that level, ever. I've watched videos. I've seen how they do it. I got a crazy video to show you, by the way. It's crazy to me. And as esports picks up, it's going to get more competitive. But that's a different cast or different.
That's
different
complete.
show.
That's a complete. Yeah, you are completely off topic. No, games as a service. Like, you're changing the definition.
How?
Games as a service is something that doesn't have a story that you play. It's a strategic, like, so technically, Super Smash Brothers is a games as a service when you play online with your friends. You are not playing a linear story. It just as theirs, they don't sell add-on content. You don't have to sell add-on content to be a games as a service game.
I mean, you're not wrong. A lot of companies do give out free content, but it's a question of. So I think all of us have come to the agreement and the conclusion that really what we're all
needs to
looking
be a
for
hybrid.
is a hybrid.
Is a hybrid.
We want it to be a linear story path that we could play, or at least
Well,
some
Ghost
story.
of Tsushima,
Yeah,
or it's about to be.
yeah, correct. And they're not alone. Assassin's Creed used to
Yep.
have battle mode, and Uncharted has always included a battle pack where you can fight other players in it. So I mean, those are just some examples. And then there's rumors that Horizon Forbidden West is going to have multiplayer elements to it, which could.
I don't know how that's gonna go.
I'm interested to see how it
concerned.
goes.
I'm concerned.
So, what do you think? Do you think that games as a service serves a point, or
Games as a service serves a point.
yeah? Are you okay with paying for additional content? Do you think that any additional content to a game as a service should be free? Is the roadmap approach really the best approach?
Do you think that having a bit of both, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, makes it for a perfect game? Would you continue playing that type of field of gaming?
I still stand by. I mean, I guess I'm on board completely with that hybrid approach. 'Cause
Yeah.
I promise
That's
you
my
that if
vote.
you made Kingdom Hearts 4 to where I just started with like 9 worlds, but then you kept doing additional content where I could pay for another world and more story,
I'm all about that.
Take my money.
you just keep getting money from me.
Take
Like, we've added a
my
new world. How
money.
much is that one going to be?
Take
Here you
it.
go, Square.
Here you
There's
go.
$20 for the 2 new worlds that you're offering
I'll
me.
Kickstarter that right now. I would pay a lot of money.
Comes
like,
with a new
do it,
Keyblade.
please.
I'm all about it.
How much is that new Keyblade you say?
Don't tease
Done.
me. Stop teasing me, guys. This is not okay.
Oh, I can have a new teammate
I want-
character? Here you go. Take some money. Like,
Because Disney's constantly popping out new characters for
Yeah,
you.
like-
So
Square plus. No, sorry, it would be Disney Plus Square. I can even see the logo Disney. And then the Square logo. I'd be
I
down.
want it. Make it happen, somebody.
if you hear us Disney, Square Enix, make that.
That's another free idea. Talk to your buddies at EA. They already took my add-on
So much
content
fun.
for the sports games idea.
But let us know in the comments what you think. And definitely hit that like and subscribe button.
Let us drink the haterade. Have you gotten the platinum on Monster Hunter World? Tell us. I want to know.
don't tell
so
me.
that I can hate you. So I can stare at you through the screen with just ill content. I'm staring at you right now.
I tried to tell y'all. It's platinum
okay.
before. You
It's
did
not
to yourself.
okay.
It's all
All
right.
They
right.
know what they did.
It's all right.
Bye, guys.
Later, guys.
Bye.